Hello, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus placements. Thank you so much for being a time traveler. Let's take a look at your full moon in Gemini message. Keep in mind, it is collective in nature, so it is not individualized to you. As the messages come through, just take what fits, how it fits, leave what doesn't, okay? And be sure to check out your other placements. With all of that said, let's begin. Tapping into the Scorpio collective now for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus placements. What is the full moon in Gemini message here for Scorpio? What do they need to know at this time? One more shuffle here. Thank you. Death. Well, there you are. That's scorpionic energy. Bottom of the deck, gratitude. Right behind that, we have spiritual cleansing. Okay. Tell me why the death card is here. It's interesting. Gratitude is card number 35 and the death card is card number 36. So it's almost like once you're truly grateful for something or become grateful for something, then the transformation can occur. Why is the death card and the gratitude card here for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus placements? One more shuffle here. Thank you. It's time to release negativity. Full moon in Scorpio. Okay. We had a new moon in Scorpio last month. Don't let your past hold you back. South node. And it's time to take action. New moon in Aries. Tell me why gratitude and death is here, as well as it's time to release negativity. Full moon in Scorpio, and don't let your past hold you back. South node. Why is this the full moon in Gemini message here? Well, full moons are all about releasing. So maybe there was something here that you need to release in the energy of this full moon, which will be with us for several days. So tell me more about this here for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus placements. One more shuffle here. Thank you. The Tower. Well, that is your energy, actually. The Tower is Pluto, and Pluto is the modern day ruler of Scorpio. It used to be Aries back in the day. So you have the Tower, you have the Four of Cups, you have the Five of Cups, and you have the Nine of Pentacles. There is something here, and it could be a situation, environment, or a connection, a thought process, a pattern, the way you show up. I don't know what this is for you. A habit. There's something here that you're supposed to become single, free, and independent of. It no longer serves you. Bottom of the deck, Seven of Wands, Ace of Pentacles, and the Two of Cups. I feel like you're resisting this. I feel like you're resisting this for some reason. Okay, tell me more about the Tower. Queen of Swords and Nine of Cups. Tell me more about the Tower. Why is the Tower here? Why is the Tower here? I feel like you know it's time to release this, but you don't want to. It's like you're resisting it. One more shuffle here. Thank you. The Tower is being clarified by the Queen of Pentacles, the Four of Swords, and the Nine of Wands. Bottom of the deck, Wheel of Fortune. There's something that you are investing your pentacle resources into, your time, your love, your money, your devotion. There's something here that you're nurturing. That continues to wound you. It's like you nurture it, or you pour pentacle energy into it, or you spend time or money on it. And then it's like, then you're in recovery. So there's some kind of Three of Swords moment that happens. The Tower, which is occurring, is or has occurred. I don't know where you are on this timeline. The reason why the Tower came is because you're continually trying to engage or nurture something or take care of someone or repeat a pattern or something like this over and over again, and it's to your detriment. So there's a reason why it needs to be brought down. It needs to transform. It either needs to come to a full stop end, or it needs to transform, because the way it's going, or whatever it is here that you're doing, it's sort of on repeat from the past. And it's like, you can't take this with you the way it exists into 2026. So now is the time to release the pattern. Now is the time to release the habit. Now is the time to release whatever this negativity is here for you. And for some of you, it could be a situation, environment, a connection. 4 of Cups to the 5 of Cups. Whatever this is, it does not make you very happy. It does not make you happy. Why is Scorpio in the 4 of Cups and 5 of Cups over this? One more shuffle here. Thank you. Queen of Swords, Page of Swords, and the 5 of Wands. Bottom of deck, Page of Pentacles. So there was some information or communication or conversation that you experienced that caused you to feel 4 of Cups and 5 of Cups. Some type of discord or disagreement. The Queen's in Tarot, and you came up twice now as a queen. You could be a masculine. Don't shut the video off. This is still your reading. Energetically speaking, the way I look at the Queens in Tarot, the Queens exist in the present because of what they've gone through in the past. All 4 Queens in Tarot basically forged through fire because of the triumphs, like the successes, as well as the failures that they have endured from their respective suits. So the Queen of Pentacles knows what it's like to invest in something where it does have long-term growth and stability. There's a return on the Queen's investment. And the Queen knows what it's like to invest in something that bears no fruit. She knows what the 5 of Pentacles and 7 of Pentacles experiences. And so she's very decisive now when it comes to how she spends her pentacle resources, her time, her love, her money, her devotion. Like moving the way she exists now, it needs to be a sure thing. She doesn't invest, haphazardly. She's very smart about her pentacle resources. And the Queen of Swords exists and is hardened, basically. That's the coldest queen out of all 4 because of her suit of cards and everything she's experienced. She exists presently as the Queen of Swords, very sharp and deliberate and logical and speaks with great brevity. It's not the 9-paragraph queen. That's not the Queen of Swords. 2 sentences, if you get anything at all. Because she has endured 3 of Swords, 5 of Swords, 7 of Swords, 8 of Swords, 9 of Swords, 10 of Swords. I think it's the worst suit in tarot. So, and I don't say that because I'm an air sign. It really, when you look at it, it is the worst suit. It's the most painful suit. And so that's why she's a bit colder than the other queens. So something has turned you or is about to turn you. I don't know where you are in the timeline, but has turned you into the Queen of Swords. And that's because something you were investing in, again, situation, environment, connection, or a pattern you were repeating within yourself was no longer good for you. There was information, communication, or conversation here which triggered all of this and left you feeling 4 of Cups and 5 of Cups. 9 of Pentacles. I think the goal here is to become free and independent and autonomous of whatever this is. Now, I want to throw out there my own experience. And some people like when I do that, some people don't. But when I feel called to do it, I feel like it could be helpful. Like for me, this is guilt. This is me overgiving to a younger sibling, who albeit it's not like he's a child. He's, 46 years old. But he's gone through something pretty traumatic, albeit of his own doing. I keep saying that, albeit of his own doing. But as the older sister and as someone who has a little bit of a guilty conscience because our life paths went in different directions and he ended up far worse than I did. And so I guess I kind of have a little bit of like survivor's remorse or like survivor's guilt because of that. And so I have been helping him. But I know not only do I need to stop helping him because he's taking full advantage of me, I need to release the guilt. I need to release the guilt. I should not feel guilty. We started at the same point. We had the same family. We had the same parents. We had the same, maybe a little bit different experiences as we got into our teenage years. But the decisions he made were his, and the decisions I made were mine. And I can't hold anyone accountable or responsible for the decisions I made. And I no longer want to be held accountable for the decisions he made. And so for some of you, it could be just a shedding away of guilt. So take it how it resonates to you. A person, place, thing, a habit, an experience, or something like this you were doing or engaging in. Could even be something like guilt that was no longer serving you. And there's information, communication, conversation that's going to make you realize it's time to put an end to it. Nine of Pentacles. Why is the Nine of Pentacles here for Scorpio? Why is the Nine of Pentacles here for Scorpio? One more shuffle here. Thank you. The Nine of Pentacles is clarified by the Three of Pentacles, the Page of Pentacles, and the Seven of Cups. Bottom of the deck, the Sun card. I think it's time for you to start investing in you, your dreams, and your goals. If this is a relationship reading, and it could be with a friend, family member, or lover, you gave more allowances, you gave more love, you probably invested more time into this person than you invested in yourself. Some of you put your own dreams or desires on the back burner so you could emotionally relegate this individual or be there for them or nurture them. So my phone went off as a notification. So maybe for some of you, that's the truth. You put your own dreams and desires on the back burner, waiting for this person or nurturing this person or tending to their every need. And I'm not saying you need to release the person. I mean, maybe for some of you, you need to release the person, but for some of you, you just need to release showing up that way. Three of Pentacles, Page of Pentacles, and Seven of Cups. When are you going to start investing in you? In you, in your future, in the things you like, in your hopes, in your dreams, in your desires, in your aspirations, as opposed to continually giving to an entity that's not appreciating it or taking advantage of it or being reckless with it, with what you give. Because if you're constantly in the Four of Swords, that tells me you're also constantly experiencing the Three of Swords with whomever or whatever this is. Seven of Wands, the Ace of Pentacles, and Two of Cups. I actually think that if you can identify who or what this is and you release it, I actually think that it improves partnerships in your life. And again, this could be a habit within you, could be a pattern. And it doesn't mean that one has anything to do with the other. The way I show up in my romantic connection has a lot to do with my familial connections, my family connections, with all of that guilt that I have. And so I tend to overgive, or in the past, I overgive in my romantic connection. And he knows that. He said it just the other day. He was talking to my dad, and I forgot what my dad asked him. And he's like, he's like, yeah, she's got a heart of gold. He goes, I've never seen anyone like her. And I thought to myself, that's a good thing if it's in the hands of the right person. But in the hands of the wrong person, my good nature could really be taken advantage of. And so, yeah, I need to be more Queen of Swords and Queen of Pentacles when it comes to my heart, my love, because I could end up giving it to someone like my younger brother who will totally use it against me to get what they want from me, which in this respect is money, pentacle resources. So I feel like healing this wound for our collective, most of you know I'm a Scorpio moon. What that wound is different for all of you. I mean, at this point, I don't know so much if it's an actual person. I have no people cards here to represent that. I just have something that you're doing over and over again, that we're doing over and over again, is almost forcing us to be more of Queen of Swords, Queen of Pentacles. What is this? What are we doing? How about that? What are we doing? Actually, let me use this deck for that. Ace of Swords. Everything I just said is the truth. I don't know so much if it's a person, but I do think that this one habit or trait we have is affecting partnerships and connections, professional, platonic, as well as romantic in our life. Tell me more about the pattern here. Tell me more about this pattern. I feel like I've been talking for 55 minutes. I hope I haven't been. What is this pattern? One more shuffle here. Thank you. The pattern, the Star and the Hierophant, and the Page of Wands. This is a pattern that we're doing. It's a belief we have, right? The Hierophant talks about our beliefs, a tradition, something we're doing over and over again. It's Taurus energy. It's opposite of you, right? That's your opposite sign. So there's something here that you believe, and you do it over and over again. And maybe it's something you learned in childhood with that Page of Wands. Tell me more about this. The Star, the Hierophant, and the Page of Wands. There's some kind of belief here. And it's almost become like tradition to you. Like it's as easy as breathing. The High Priestess. Tell me more about this. One more shuffle here. Thank you. The Star, the Hierophant, the Page of Wands, the High Priestess. There's the Queen of Pentacles again. It's something the way we invest or nurture. Seven of Pentacles. We do it over and over again. Bottom of the deck, Knight of Pentacles. We do this over and over again. We persevere and we invest in something, or we show up in a certain way. We're doing something over and over again that is not yielding the result that we want. And yet we keep doing it. It's like having 1 acre of land and the soil is completely contaminated, and we continue to try planting apple trees. It's like nothing's going to grow there. The soil's contaminated. We're like, I know, but I believe that I can plant and it's going to grow the best apple tree. But the soil's contaminated. I know, but this time it'll take. So there's something here that we believe in, and we believe it's right. We do this over and over again as a pattern. And we believe that it will yield the result we want. So we're spending too much time on something we should not be spending that time on. We are giving love to something or someone we should not be giving all of that love to. I know it's a terrible thing to say, but we're devoted to something or someone who has no devotion to us. It's a negative trait that we have. It's a loving trait, but it's a negative trait because we keep doing it over and over again. It's something we learned in our youth or in our past. It's preventing us from moving forward. Don't let your past hold you back. It has been holding us back. It has been holding us back this entire damn time. Now it's time for us to take action. Bring love into the situation, and the energy is gaining momentum. It's right behind that. Tell me more about this pattern. Something learned in childhood. It comes very easy to you. It's like as easy as breathing. What is this? One more shuffle here. Thank you. What is this? 8 of Wands. Either the way you communicate or the way you show up or progress forward in a connection. 6 of Swords. 7 of Swords. Okay. Page of Cups. There's something here. Don't take the message if it's not yours, okay? I've tapped into a group of you that something embedded in you, something occurred, some experience you had in childhood or in adolescence made it very easy for you, as easy as breathing, that when someone is wounded or someone is in need or someone needs help, you're like, I got to be right there. I got to be right there. I have to be the first one there. I have to administer the first aid. I have to help buy them this. I have to come up with this money. I have to nurture them back to health. It actually is a betrayal of your pentacle resources because you're not discerning with that pentacle resource. You're constantly running to the aid of people. I think it's people in general. I don't think it's one particular person. I think we're over showing up, if that's even a word. But something in our childhood, again, we got that damn Page of Cups. Something in our childhood was like, we have to do this. It's a learned behavior that we have to sacrifice ourselves. So let me see if I can get some real world examples here for you. Can I get some examples here for Scorpio? Some examples here for Scorpio. One more shuffle here. Thank you. Page of Swords. The moment that communication comes in, let's say you get a phone call. Hello, Scorpio. Yeah, what's up? I need help. What's the matter? What do you need? That's what I'm feeling here. Page of Swords. 2 of Cups. The moment you get communication from someone that you see as part of your soul tribe or you recognize, your soul recognize them, you recognize them as a soulmate, and you receive some kind of communication, you run with your Ace of Cups. You run with your Ace of Cups. You run to help them, you run to nurture them, you run to save them, you run to be there for them. And it costs you stress, and it costs you tension. And then you almost feel like betrayed because the individual does not show up the way you show up. Or they don't respect you for your efforts. This is like coming to the aid and rescuing someone. And then afterwards, you're sitting there thinking, and you're like, wow, I didn't do that to get a thank you, but it sure would have been nice to get a thank you. How many times have you done that? Have you overextended yourself for someone, and then you sat back and you were like, wow, they had no gratitude. I didn't expect them to kiss my ass, but they couldn't even give me like a proper thank you. I think we need to put an end to rushing into the burning building. We're not even geared up for it. We haven't even assessed what's going on. We don't know if it's safe. We don't have the proper gear on. And we just go rushing to give this person, or just people in general, what we think they need in that moment. And it may very well be what they need in that moment, but it doesn't mean it has to come at our expense. And I actually think the way that we show up that way actually could end up being a negative in connections. How are these two things connected? Because I feel like this pattern affects our romantic partnerships. It's something we're doing in all of our connections that's actually affecting our romantic partnerships. How does this affect our romantic partnerships? King of Swords, Two of Swords, Queen of Cups. Bottom of the deck, Six of Wands. Oh my God. So I've tapped into a group of you where that's how you show up in all of your connections, right? Person has a crisis. You're the first on the scene. You have to fix or save them. That same response does not work well for you, though, in romantic partnerships, does it? Nope. It actually becomes a block. Because romantic partners aren't necessarily looking for a mommy or a daddy. They're looking for an equal. And we think if we show up this way, we're going to win this person over. Win them over. Six of Wands. We have the devil. It's actually toxic to show up this way. Loving without borders, without boundaries, is actually toxic in a romantic connection. We've learned this from our platonic and familial connections, and we continue to show up that way. And sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't, but it definitely does not serve us well in romantic partnerships. That's not how we win someone over. Empress and the world to the emperor. Well, there's a lesson. There's a lesson here for you, whether you're the emperor or the empress. There's a lesson here for you about being a little bit more discerning with your pentacle resources. And yes, if you continue to show up that way in romantic partnerships, you're going to continue to have blocks and challenges in your romantic partnerships until this lesson is complete. Union between the divine masculine and divine feminine is strained or impossible. So it's time to release negativity, Scorpio, in the energy of this full moon. The negativity is the way we've been showing up. We need to put an end to it. This past habit does not serve us well. And that is the truth. Ace of Swords, Temperance, Archangel Michael, and Two of Wands. And that is the truth. Hope this message made sense for at least one Scorpio watching. But yeah, there's something here we're doing. We keep showing up this way. We keep overgiving. I I could see where I do that with my younger brother. I could see in my life where I've done that with a lot of people, even friends. And sometimes it serves me well and sometimes it doesn't. But it definitely does not serve me well in my romantic partnership. Then it becomes a toxic way. It becomes a toxic contributor to the connection because my partner is looking for a partner and they want to be nurtured by their partner, but they don't want to be mothered by their partner. They don't want to be fathered by their partner. You know, I want him to make me feel safe and secure like a partner would, but I don't want him to make me feel safe and secure like he's the father and I'm a 5-year-old and I can't take care of myself. Like there's a difference. You know what I mean? Okay. Tell me a little bit more about this toxic trait here. The devil to the 6 of wands. This is our trait now. The way we rush in, the way we help. We think it's like this is how we're going to win over people. And I don't think we do it with that intention. But when we show up that way in a love connection and then it doesn't work out, that's what we're feeling. We're like, wow, this person wasn't even grateful for everything I did for them. Like they were supposed to marry you because you did A, B, C, X, Y, Z for them. 6 of wands to the devil. 6 of wands to the devil. One more shuffle here. Thank you. 5 of swords. Oh, I grabbed your deck. I wanted to grab the other deck. It's okay. 5 of swords, 6 of swords, and the 8 of wands. Oh my God. What do we have here? The 8 of wands. I said like we rush in. 6 of swords, 6 of swords. And all it does is create conflict. Maybe there was a reason why I picked up those cards. Very similar ones here. So let's get advice now. It's easy to say, just release that habit. But how can we truly release this? Because for some of us, we learned this in childhood. And so, yeah, it becomes a matter of conditioning. So how do we work on releasing this? One more shuffle here. Thank you. Knight of Cups, the Chariot, and the Nine of Wands. Loving with boundaries. Love with boundaries. You can still have victory in a relationship. The connection can still move forward. You can still be romantic. You can still share your cup. But with boundaries. Not overgiving. I think for some of us, overgiving almost becomes the death to our romantic partnerships. And I don't know why that is. I don't know your respective partners or their birth charts. Maybe they feel suffocated. Maybe they're looking for a partner and not a parent. But there's something like that here at play. I'm asking what we can change. We can still move forward in a connection and give love, but with boundaries. 6 of Cups, 5 of Pentacles, 5 of Cups. Because look what happens if we don't do that. We're left out in the cold. We feel like this person doesn't appreciate us. This person does appreciate us. We're the ones that keep showing up this way when they're not even asking us to show up this way. We're overdoing it and subconsciously believing that if we do A, B, C, X, Y, Z, this person will end up with us. Meanwhile, we end up in the 10 of Swords. I think we do this unknowingly, and that's why it's this like hidden toxic trait here that we have. Let's get 3 cards for advice. So loving with boundaries, loving with borders, being discerning how we spend time in love on someone, not smothering someone, and not expecting anything for what we give. This has been a big block in our romantic partnerships. 3 of Swords comes flying out of the deck as I said that. Yeah, it causes sorrow and heartache and heartbreak and the feeling of rejection. So how can Scorpio begin healing this wound, this wound within us? How do we begin healing this? One more shuffle here. Thank you. 6 of Cups and the Hermit. Well, the first thing is understanding where it came from, and that's doing the introspection, going back to childhood, figuring out where this wound came from, where it was implanted, what were the motives of the people that made us believe that we had to overgive to the point of exhaustion or depletion in order to be loved or chosen or looked at or respected. Because it's almost like we're now replicating that unknowingly to our partner or partners. We're doing it unknowingly. Was the person who imprinted that on us doing it knowingly or unknowingly? I don't know. That's a question you have to answer. Where did this come from? Who taught you that? That you had to overgive? There must have been a parent or a guardian in your childhood that you overextended yourself for to get an ounce of affection or attention from them. What was that parent's motive? And how detrimental was that to your connection with that parent today? What's your connection like with them today? Because that's kind of how your partners in the past or your current partner or future partners will be feeling if you show up that way or continue to show up that way. Wow, that's a really big that's a really big message for the Scorpio collective. So the first step, acknowledgement, doing a little shadow work there, a little trip down memory lane to figure out where did that come from? Any other closing messages here for Scorpio? 10 of Cups at the bottom of the deck. I think for a lot of us, this has been a big block to being happy. It's like we think we need to overgive in order to be loved, or we have to over-sacrifice in order to be loved. We're either attracting the wrong people or we're pushing the right people away by showing up that way, because it's not a healthy way to give and exchange love. One more shuffle here. Thank you. Closing messages for you. 2 of Pentacles, Judgment, and the 7 of Cups. Bottom of the deck, Temperance. Have patience with yourself during this process. Take all the time you need to go within, to review this. As you move forward, I like the 7 of Cups there with that like imagination card. It's like, try to imagine the roles being reversed. If you're truly honest with yourself. Roles being reversed between you and a past partner or you and a current partner. Would you have felt smothered? Would you have felt like this person was trying too hard? Would you have seen it as being toxic? I'm sure it's very overwhelming for the other individual. And we're coming from a place of love, but we're not loving correctly. We're not coming from a healed place of love. We're coming from a pick me, choose me place of love. Because someone in our childhood taught us that. So be patient with yourself. And as you begin to heal, and it's going to be a process for a lot of you, maybe over the course of the next 6 to 7 months, as you heal, you will find new ways to express your love without depleting yourself. You will become more discerning. Give me a little bit more on that 7 of Cups, because I feel like with that, I'm getting imagination from that card. Like you will find creative ways, new ways to show that you love someone or that you care about them without overextending yourself like you used to. I feel like this strengthens partnerships currently in your life and the ones entering your life in the future. Tell me more about that 7 of Cups here. One more shuffle. Thank you. 10 of Pentacles, 4 of Wands, and the King of Cups. Bottom of the deck, 6 of Pentacles. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. You will find new creative ways to express your love, verbally or otherwise, or maybe even acts of service. I sometimes see King of Cups as the act of service king without overdoing it. And believe it or not, that will strengthen your connections moving forward. So it's time to release negativity, Scorpio, this negative trait within us. That's what I have for you. Take those messages. Take from them what you want. I know there was a lot thrown out there. I feel like I need a nap now before I move on to the last 4 signs in the zodiac. That was a lot. That was a lot of downloads there. So only take what fits. But that's what I have for you. That is your full moon in Gemini message. If you like those messages, they resonated with you, you want to claim all or part of them, please be sure to click like, share, and subscribe. Hype the video if you're able to do that. And also, I want to thank you again for being a member of the Time Traveler subscription program. I know a few people had mentioned the cost involved. 1, 2, 3 people had posted something about it. And I just want to explain to you as a member my thought behind that whole why and how I came up with that $24.99 amount. I knew that YouTube would take $10 and 50 cents. I think it is $10.50, $10.49, something like that from it. And I would be left with about 14 bucks and change. And then I would have to pay the state and federal taxes, and that would leave me below $10. And so I sat here going, oh, geez, okay, I'm going to do 48 readings now. And I'm going to do this for $9 because I don't know at the end of the day if I end up with 1 subscriber, 10 subscribers, 1,000 subscribers. I have no idea. So I based it on needing to keep the lights on and food on my table and my house warm. And I really didn't think that at the end of the day, for me to walk away with $9 for doing 48 additional readings a month, I didn't think that was a lot for me to ask for my time and for my service here, because again, I don't know if I'm doing this for 1 person or 1,000. If as the readings, the months go by and stuff, and I'm getting a lot more subscribers, I will have no problem lowering that price. I can just cancel that tier and create a new one at a lower price, and all of you can sign on for the lower price. I'm not doing this to be greedy at all. I'm kind of at this point doing this to survive. I don't think some people realize how much we lose in YouTube fees, as well as fees in the taxes that we have to pay. And I need to pay taxes quarterly as a business owner. So I can't wait till the end of the year. So yeah, so that was my thought process behind this. So I do apologize for some of you if the $24.99 is a bit high. I do hope that in time you do see value in it. If you're paying more, I saw 1 or 2 people write that they had paid $29.99, and I was like, what is that all about? So I contacted YouTube, and they explained to me that Apple, if you sign up to the subscription using an Apple device, you are charged an extra $5. I had no idea. Apparently Apple has their own payment processing fee. It doesn't go to me. It doesn't go to YouTube. It's just their fee. So if you incurred that, I apologize. I had no idea of that when I originally created the price amount. I didn't know that they were going to tack on $3 to $5 on it. But what you could do, if you have access to a non-Apple device, you could cancel the subscription, and then you can resubscribe using a non-Apple device or a web browser, and then you'll see that new, not the new price, but the actual price of $24.99. So if you want to do that and save yourself $5 a month, that's what is that, 60 bucks a year? You're more than welcome to do that as well. But that is what I have for you, Scorpio, at this time. Thanks again for being a member. Be sure to click like, share, comment, and subscribe. And until I read for you again, I'm wishing you light, love, and peace.